Hello and welcome to Boxing in Your Face. My name is Joe Cortez, international boxing referee from Las Vegas, Nevada. Now this week we'll talk a little bit about duties of a referee. When I say duties, I'm talking about when we get to the venue to referee the fights, I like to get my colleagues together and discuss different scenarios that may occur that particular night. Now we know a lot of things that can occur. Let's talk a little bit about headbutts. A fighter gets cut. What do we do? What are the procedures that we take? We talk about low blows. A fighter gets hit low. Whether it's accidental, intentionally, what actions do we take? Do we disqualify the fighter right off the get-go, or do we give him warnings, point deductions, all these little things like this, hitting a fighter while he's down? Topics like that, we like to create these different scenarios at the venue the day of the fight. This way, if anything like that was to occur later on that evening, we already had it embedded in our head, different things that can occur. So it keeps you like sharp. It's like refreshing the rules and keeping me alive while you're performing in the ring. This way you can say, well, we haven't talked about that in a while. We talked about it tonight. That's why when I say we go to the fights, I like to go there mentally prepared for when I leave my home. Actually, the same day of the fight, even before the fight, 2 days, 3 days before, especially if I'm doing a championship fight, I like to do my research, my homework on these fighters to see what kind of habits they have. If they have a habit of pulling the guy down by pulling his head and clocking him, or if they have the habit of hitting on the break, whether they have the habit of going low, different fouls that can just keep us on our toes, because I believe that if a referee does his homework, it makes your job that much easier inside a square ring. That's why it's important that we get together that night of the fight, we sit down, instead of talking about the birthday parties or the weddings or whatever, let's talk about boxing. That's what we get paid for, to do our job and try to leave no stones unturned. I truly believe that if you work hard at your job, you're going to be the best. I never settle for second best. People say, Joe, why is it that you get called to do certain fights or whatever? And you know what? Maybe I get called, and other referees get called more often than others, and it's because they recognize your work in the ring. You're good ring mechanics. You know your rules. You know exactly your positioning. When a mouthpiece comes out, when do you call time? When they're in the middle of an action and the blows are really going and they got maybe 15 seconds to go. And when they're in the heat of the action, do you really want to stop, call time right there? I don't think so. So these are the things that we discuss during these little meetings when we have our scenarios before the fights. So if you follow up, get your buddy, another colleagues of yours, to discuss different topics. I say, have a buddy system. I talked about that in the past. If you have a buddy system like I had Larry Hazard when he was refereeing before he became commissioner, we should discuss topics, different scenarios all the time, 3, 4, 5 times a day. We try to leave those stones unturned. And this is why I say it's so important. If you want to get recognized as a top-notch referee, do your homework. They're not going to come knocking on your door just because you're a good-looking guy, whatever. No, they're going to go after you because you know your job inside that ring. People say, I feel comfortable with this particular referee because he knows what he's doing. That's why when I talk, from experience. I know what people are looking for. I know what the fans are looking for, the commentators, your commissioners. Everybody wants to know who's going to be the referee. That's important. The referee for a particular fight. Managers, promoters, trainers, they don't want to lose an opportunity for their fighter who's going to fight for the championship fight and lose a point or something goes wrong because the referee was not fully prepared. You have to try to be the best referee out there. I don't care who's out there better than you, you got to be better than them. That's the attitude you have to take as a referee. You think that a certain referee, you can't do the kind of work he does? Yes, you can. You can work hard at it, because that's how I did it when I was starting out as a referee back in 1977. It's been 34 great years. Yeah, I made some mistakes. We all make mistakes. I always say that's why they put erasers on pencils. You make a mistake, and you correct your mistake, but you try to minimize your mistake to make you a better official. I feel that the more we work on striving to be the best referee, the better you're going to get. Always try to raise the bar. I'm a strong believer that if you think you know it all, that's the day you got to pack it in. All referees have to try to learn more and more every day. Believe me, I listen to other referees speak, and I listen to them with my ears really open and to see if I could pick up something that they may say that maybe I did not think about. And little ideas about, let's say if two fighters are throwing punches simultaneously and they both go down. Yeah, we know that can happen. It hardly ever happens, but look on YouTube and you'll see it. Fighters get double knocked down, double knockout, double knocked down. Either one, you got to be prepared. What do? So you talk with your colleagues. Yeah, okay, well, yeah, what do I do? You start counting one, or you start counting them both, or one gets up, and the other one is still down. What do? So prepare yourself for that, because these are kind of topics and some of the incidents that may occur during a fight. So you better be prepared, so you don't look like an amateur who doesn't really know what you're doing. When I say amateur, I'm talking about somebody who just doesn't know what the hell he's doing. You got great amateur referees. They know the amateur rules. That's fine. But then there are rules in the professional ranks that are entirely different from the amateur rules. So when I say amateur, I don't mean to say in a derogatory way. I'm meaning that you got to have more experience at what you're doing. Make you a better referee. I think that having your buddy, your working buddy, you call him up and say, listen, Larry, gee, you know, this fighter hit his opponent while he was down, but he jumped right up and they started fighting again. Should I have let that happen? Or what should I have done? Should I have counted? Yes. You know what? When a fighter goes down, and even if he gets up and they start fighting again, you got to call time right there. Wait a minute, there was a knockdown that occurred. The fighter's got to take the mandatory 8 count. You take the mandatory 8 count, and then you warn the other fighter for hitting him while he was down. Then you got to take point deduction, but then you got to go to the judges and tell the judges, I think it's a 2-point deduction, but scored a knockdown. You're not going to count a guy out if he got fouled. If he got fouled, you can't count. You call time. Remember, keep it in the memory bank. It was a knockdown. Call time. You got time to. Time is your best friend. Give you a little opportunity to kind of really look at the whole picture and a couple of seconds to think and say, okay, go to a neutral corner. Where you're sending the fighter who scored a foul to a neutral corner. You try to regroup the whole thing. Okay, this has just occurred. Let me go to the judges and say, call it a knockdown, but I'm taking 2 points for hitting the opponent while he was down. You have an opportunity to go to your commission if you have to. They're there to guide you if you need any guidance. Tell them, I took a 2-point, he hit him while he was down, and I told the judges to call it a knockdown. Okay, great. So little things like that are different scenarios that you want to talk about to your colleagues, because the craziest things can happen in boxing. So two fighters get hit while they both go down, or a fighter gets hit while he's down, and he's able to continue, and the doctor evaluates his conditions. He's okay, or if the doctor says he cannot continue, what do? Well, then you have to disqualify the fighter, because the fighter who scored the foul, because this guy is not able to continue because of the flagrant foul. Now it's up to you, to the discretion of the referee, whether that was an intentional foul or was an accidental foul. And it depends on the severity of the blow. How many points are you going to take? And are you going to disqualify the fighter or let the fight continue? So these are things that you have to discuss with your colleagues. Talk these things over. Talk about boxing when you go to the venue. Don't talk about the girlfriends or the wife or the grandchildren. Let's talk about boxing when you're there. That's what you get paid for. To do your job 100%. Guys, with that said, I'll see you next week. Take care. God bless.